As the plane taxied to the gate, Andrea sat in her seat, her heart heavy with a mix of emotions. She had spent the entire flight replaying the last few days in her mind, Raj's voice, his touch, the way he had looked at her with such intensity. She couldn't shake the feeling that leaving had been a mistake, that she was walking away from something extraordinary. Before disembarking, she pulled out her phone and sent Raj a quick message. "Hi, I'm safe. We just landed." She stared at the screen, her heart pounding as she waited for his reply. It came almost immediately, and as she read his words, her heart ached with a longing she hadn't fully acknowledged until now. "Now I can breathe. I'll let you rest today and see your family. We can talk tomorrow. Have a great day." Andrea's chest tightened as she read his message. His words were thoughtful, considerate, but they only deepened her sense of loss. She was realizing, with every passing moment, that she was completely in love with Raj. It wasn't just infatuation or a fleeting crush, it was something deeper, something that had taken root from the very moment she had seen him in the jewelry store. For both of them, it had been love at first sight, and now, with the distance growing between them, the reality of that love was becoming painfully clear. She tucked her phone away, feeling an overwhelming sadness as she prepared to leave the plane. Stepping into the bustling airport, she was surrounded by the familiar sights and sounds of home, but everything felt different, less vibrant, less meaningful without Raj. As she made her way through the terminal, her thoughts remained on him, on the life she was leaving behind in India. She greeted her family with warm smiles and hugs, but in her heart, she couldn't shake the feeling that something vital was missing. Meanwhile, back in India, Raj arrived at his parents' house with a heavy heart. The weight of the morning's events still hung over him, and he knew he had to face the difficult conversation with his family. As much as he tried to prepare himself, he knew that nothing could fully shield him from their disappointment. King Devendra and Queen Anisha were seated in the grand sitting room, their expressions expectant as Raj entered. Onik, ever the loyal friend, followed closely behind, his face etched with concern. "Raj, you're here," Queen Anisha said, her voice warm but tinged with curiosity. "We've been waiting to hear how things went with Andrea." Raj took a deep breath, knowing that what he was about to say would change everything. "Mother, father, I need to tell you something. Andrea has left. She's gone back to her home." The room fell into a stunned silence. Queen Anisha's smile faltered, and King Devendra's expression darkened. The air grew thick with tension as they processed Raj's words. "Gone." Queen Anisha finally spoke, her voice trembling with disbelief. "But why? We thought she was going to stay, that you were serious about her." Raj nodded, his heart heavy with guilt. "I am serious about her, but Andrea needed time to think. Everything happened so quickly, and she has responsibilities back home, her family, her studies. She wasn't ready to make a decision about our relationship, and I couldn't force her." King Devendra's face hardened with anger. "And so you let her leave? You allowed her to walk away without fighting for her, without even introducing her to us? Raj, this is unacceptable. How could you let this happen?" Raj flinched at his father's harsh tone, but he stood his ground. "I couldn't keep her here against her will, father. She needed space, and I had to respect that. It doesn't mean that things are over between us. We're going to stay in touch, and I'm willing to wait for her. But she needed to go home." Queen Anisha's expression turned cold, her disappointment palpable. "Raj, you've put us in a very difficult position. We were ready to welcome her into our family, despite the circumstances, and now you tell us that she's left? That she couldn't even meet us before she made her decision?" Raj's heart sank further. I wanted her to meet you, but the timing wasn't right. She was overwhelmed by everything, and I didn't want to pressure her. I know this isn't what you wanted to hear, but I have to give her the time she needs." King Devendra shook his head, his anger barely contained. "This is a disgrace, Raj. You've brought shame upon our family by allowing this to happen. If she truly cared for you, she would have stayed. She would have made the effort to get to know us. But instead, she ran back to her life, leaving you behind." Raj's throat tightened, his heart breaking under the weight of his parents' anger. "Father, please no, Raj," Queen Anisha interrupted, her voice icy. "If this is how she feels, then we have no interest in meeting her. You've made your choice, and now you must live with the consequences. We won't support a relationship with someone who doesn't respect our family or our traditions." Raj felt as if the ground was slipping away beneath him. He had known this conversation would be difficult, but the reality of his parents' rejection was more painful than he had anticipated. He had hoped they might understand, that they would see the situation for what it was, a complicated, delicate matter that required patience and understanding. But instead, they had closed the door on the very possibility of acceptance. Onik, who had been watching the exchange with growing concern, finally stepped forward. "Your Majesties, if I may," he said carefully, "Raj has done everything he could to handle this situation with respect and integrity. Andrea's departure doesn't mean the end of their relationship, it means they need time to grow it in the right way. I know this isn't what you wanted, but perhaps with time, things will become clearer." King Devendra's gaze shifted to Onik, his expression stern. "Onik, you've always been loyal to Raj, and I respect that. But this is a matter of family and tradition. We cannot simply wait and hope that things will work out. Raj has made his choice, and now he must deal with the consequences. We will not support this uncertainty." Queen Anisha, her voice softened by a mother's sorrow, added, "Raj, we love you, and we want you to be happy. But we cannot support a relationship that begins with so much doubt and hesitation. If Andrea is truly the one for you, she will return. But until then, we must move on." Raj's heart shattered as he heard his mother's words. He felt trapped between the love he had for Andrea and the loyalty he felt toward his family. His parents' rejection of Andrea was a blow he hadn't fully anticipated, and now he was left to navigate a path that seemed increasingly uncertain. As Raj left his parents' house, Onik walked beside him, his expression reflecting the deep concern he felt for his friend. "I'm sorry, Raj," Onik said quietly as they reached the car. "I didn't expect them to react like that." Raj nodded, his face pale with the weight of the confrontation. "Neither did I, Onik. I knew they'd be upset, but I didn't think they'd refuse to even consider meeting her in the future." Onik sighed, placing a hand on Raj's shoulder. "This is hard, Raj, but don't lose hope. You have to believe that things will work out, even if it takes time. Andrea cares about you, and that's something worth holding on to." Raj looked at Onik, his eyes filled with a mix of determination and despair. "I won't give up on her, Onik. I can't. But I don't know how to fix this, how to make everyone see that what I feel for her is real." Onik nodded, his voice steady. "One step at a time, Raj. Give her the space she needs, and in the meantime, keep faith in what you have together. It's not going to be easy, but if it's meant to be, you'll find a way." Raj sighed, his heart heavy but resolute. "I just hope I haven't lost her already." As they drove away from his parents' house, Raj stared out the window, his thoughts consumed by the love he felt for Andrea and the challenges that lay ahead. He knew that the path before him was uncertain, But he was determined to fight for what he believed in, for the love that had taken hold of him from the moment he first saw her. On the other side of the world, Indara found herself in a different kind of waiting. The announcement had come and gone, and though the weight of her former engagement had been lifted, she was now in a holding pattern, waiting for her parents to give their blessing for the next step in her life. She longed to introduce them to the man she truly loved, but she understood the need for patience, especially after the recent upheaval. Every night, after the day's responsibilities were behind her, Indara would retreat to her room, her sanctuary. It was during these quiet hours that she found solace in her late-night phone calls with the man who had captured her heart. They would talk for hours, their voices hushed but filled with warmth as they shared stories, dreams, and plans for the future. Soon, she would often say, her voice tinged with both hope and the sadness of waiting. Soon, they'll be ready. We just have to be patient. Her lover, always understanding, would reassure her. I'm here, Indara. I'll wait as long as it takes. What we have is worth it. These calls became the highlight of her day, a thread of connection that kept her grounded amidst the uncertainty. Though they were miles apart, the sound of his voice made the distance feel smaller, their bond growing stronger with each conversation. Indara knew that when the time finally came, she would stand before her parents with confidence, ready to introduce them to the man she loved. Until then, she would continue to wait, her heart filled with a quiet resolve and the certainty that love, when true, could endure anything. On the second day after returning home, Andrea found herself thinking about Raj more than she had anticipated. The memories of their time together in India were still fresh, and the distance between them felt like a tangible presence. She knew she needed to focus on her studies and family, but she couldn't shake the thoughts of Raj from her mind. Finally, after much deliberation, she picked up her phone and decided to send him a message. She typed out a simple text, her fingers hesitating for just a moment before hitting send. Hi Raj, how are you doing? She stared at the screen, her heart beating a little faster as she waited for his reply. She wasn't sure what to expect, if he would respond right away or if he would take some time. But she felt a mix of anticipation and nervousness, knowing that this text was the first step in keeping their connection alive despite the miles between them. A few moments later, her phone buzzed with a response. Andrea quickly opened it, her heart skipping a beat as she read his reply. Hi Andrea. I'm doing all right, just missing you. How are you? How's everything back home? A small smile tugged at the corners of Andrea's lips. She felt a warmth spread through her, a sense of comfort knowing that Raj was thinking about her too. Andrea, I'm doing okay, just getting back into the swing of things. But I miss you too. It feels strange being back here without you. Raj, I know what you mean. It feels strange here without you too. But I'm glad you reached out. It's good to hear from you. Andrea felt a surge of emotion, realizing how much those simple words meant to her. Despite the challenges ahead, she felt a renewed sense of hope that they could find a way to make this work, no matter the distance or the uncertainties that lay ahead. I'm glad we're talking. It helps, you know? It does. Let's keep talking, Andrea. We'll figure this out together, one step at a time. As they continued texting, the distance between them seemed to shrink, if only a little. Andrea felt a sense of connection that gave her the strength to face the challenges ahead. She knew it wouldn't be easy, but with each message, she felt more certain that what they had was worth holding on to. To be continued. Thanks for watching. Until next time.